Lesbos Archers went undefeated in the Group A, and Retriarius Gladiators took second place in Group B after winning a tiebreaker against Amazing Warriors. No, it was Amazing Warriors. Silver Shield Swordsman. I screwed up the name, I'm sorry. And also, I have Sasha with me,
Hi everyone.
and Jojo.
Hello.
Wow, so quiet. I guess yesterday was pretty overwhelming. Those were some really good games.
Yeah, there were indeed some pretty good games.
Jojo, you were watching. I take it. Did you have a special moment that you remember that kind of stuck to mind?
Well, I mean, I was flipping between streams and names, so I watched many different matches that gone on, but one personal favorite of mine, and I won't be able to quote which teams there were, but it was the move on Hadrian's Wall, and Elephant God was on one team, and the strategy to pull Elephant via the flank to come down and disrupt, and then have them pull through the mid as they were going back, scared from the elephants. Just some beautiful plays with the elephants to disrupt. But in terms of the exact,
One of the battles I casted,
Yeah.
which was Siberian Slingers. That's the Elephants God team. I think it was against Silver Shield Swordsman. I'm not sure.
I think so.
Was their opponent. Doesn't matter. But I've casted all 6 of their battles in the second half of the group stage.
Yeah.
Not some
Oh, in fact, I've
valid
just
path or connection URL. Please check your settings to confirm they are valid. It is my stream not running because of that. Yep. Start streaming. Oh, it's not good. Settings. Streaming. I have my stream keeper in.
should be fine.
The winning tiebreaker against Amazing Warriors. Yeah, it was Amazing Warriors. Silver Shield Swordsman. I don't know, it's worrying.
Hi everyone.
I see that my stream isn't live.
Hello.
Okay, we'll see. Sasha is live, right?
Unfortunately, I think I might be having
so
some
quiet.
issues as well. Let me figure it out.
Yesterday was pretty
overwhelming.
So we should be live and we aren't, not like this.
Yeah, there were indeed pretty good.
But I'm
games.
waiting now 70 seconds
Jojo,
to
you were watching.
delay
I take it.
catch up.
Did you have a special moment that you remember that kind of
We'll
stuck
see
to
if my
mind?
channel will go
Well,
on.
I mean, I was flipping between streams and names, so I watched
And once we
many
confirm that
different matches that gone on.
one
but
of us is
one
actually
personal
live.
favorite of mine.
Then we can do the introduction again,
Okay.
I guess.
I've been live anyways on my channel.
No, you're live as well?
Yep.
Hey!
Wow,
Hey!
Jojo. Hi everyone watching on Jojo's stream.
As-
I think you're the only one live at the moment, actually.
Yeah. Yay.
So you are on Jojo's GG's and see?
Correct. You should be able to see me on. Hopefully,
GG's in Total War Arena.
Yep.
La la.
hopefully I've gotten the delay right as well. That I'm not streaming it live because that would be not fun. But yeah.
Okay, so delay will catch up in seconds. We'll see if I will go live with Twitch. Or will I get that worrying
Yeah.
Windows message?
I should be live as well with my intro at the moment, so I'm just gonna move to gameplay, and with the 2-minute delay, I should be live on the main channel.
It says I'm streaming, but it also says I'm hosting you.
Okay, Sasha.
I'm a host.
Sorry. So I'm just gonna go live now, okay?
Okay.
Ah, I unhosted you and you're live.
Alright, 3, 2. Hi everyone, and welcome to the official Total War Arena livestream. I'm Sasha JP, your host, and today I'm here casting the Zunsu Invitational second tournament with organizer and clan leader of the Zunsu clan, Mistru, and Jojo, co-captain.
Hello.
Were you co-captain?
Co-captain, co-caster, co-clan leader.
If you mean that.
Yeah.
Mistru is better half then.
I'll accept that.
Chat, we had some issues yesterday with sound, so please let me know if my mic is working, if it's at the right level. I will make a conscious effort to try to speak up this time. But meanwhile, leave me your comments if you find any issues with audio. But we should be live. Shouldn't be a problem. We are on a 2-minute delay, so I'm about to find out what happened very soon, and if I did indeed go live. Which I
You
hope I
did.
did. I hope I did. All right. For you today, I have actually managed, as I am discovering OBS and its possibility, I actually managed to pull up this, the challenge browser, which I laid in a very ugly fashion, so it's half transparent. I'm so sorry. I'm still figuring this out. But if you have a look here, you can actually see the bracket. We're in the final stage. Semifinals are about to take place. What games are we going to be watching today?
The game we are casting is first semifinals, semifinal between Lesbos Archers and Retriarius Gladiators. Lesbos Archers went undefeated in their Group A, and meanwhile Retriarius Gladiators got second place in Group B after securing that place in a tiebreaker between them and Silver Shield Swordsman.
And I hear that we have a lobby, so I'm just going to jump in.
Yes, the picks are already underway, but no one is locked in yet. I told them they can start.
Let me get rid of the challenge and let's have a look at this. So looking back at these teams, Lesbos Archers Francis' team went undefeated yesterday, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Don't think they didn't lose one single match, correct? Not even one game.
Yes, they went 12-0.
Pretty impressive. On the other side, we have Magic's team.
Yes, they went, I think, 6-6 in terms of matches, just as Silver Shield Swordsman, and they were tied in both of their matches against Silver Shield Swordsman. So, yeah, they had a tiebreaker at the end on Jurgoga, and also won barely. We had a lot of close matches, so even if Lesbos Archers went 12-0, it doesn't mean that they were complete stomps. They went very, very close to losing, actually, a few times.
But it does make for a challenging position for them.
So for those who are just tuning in or didn't watch the games yesterday, we have a pick order. That's how teams select their squads. So team 1, which is the team on the left, selects commander and units for one of their players. Team 2 selects for 3, Team 1 selects for 3, Team 2 selects for 2, Team 1 for 3, Team 2 for 3, and Team 1 for 1. So that's the pick order we're gonna see. They're communicating this in lobby chat session as well, I see. So now that Osaka locked in his army's triple arches, it's time for Team Retriarius Gladiators to decide 3 of their units and commanders.
So I'm assuming you don't want me to jump into the custom lobby because it would make the teams uneven then, unless we can get a fourth one in to fit as filler.
We could potentially get a fourth one as a filler.
If you can try and arrange that so they don't see me jumping in like that and making the teams uneven. I don't want them to rage. You know how they get when they get competitive.
Don't worry, it's a for fun tournament.
Oh, yeah, we're here. We're all here to have fun.
Alright, I'm gonna jump in then. It's number 1, isn't it? Yeah, the one with Spanners.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's see how they react.
I'm just gonna tell them to bring one more.
So who can bring one more?
Be right back.
Okay. Right, so let's take a look at these teams getting set up.
We're still waiting on the first pick from Team 2. I believe they get to pick 3.
Correct, they should, yeah. What I can see...
Jojo, move over to the other team.
That's what I thought, yeah, because the other ones have got more.
Let's
Okay.
go to the side. Perfect.
I'm with you, Sasha.
Couldn't be happier.
Cheers.
So yeah, we don't have any indication of what Team 2 is going to do yet, but Osaka has been playing Arminius Archers this entire tournament, I think.
I'm sorry, I'm just dealing with some organizational thing
Oh,
for
that's
the other
alright.
battle.
Yeah, I
Jojo and
believe.
I can hang out here, and actually I had a question for him. Why do you think Arminius Archers?
It's just the speed, really. Once you get that momentum going, they can dodge arrows a lot more effectively.
Yeah, I think that was the theory that Chat had. I believe it was Sargent who was saying that same thing.
Hmm. And the
That momentum is actually better for dodging arrows
Much
than
better.
haste.
the other advantage is the barbarian archers as well have extra bonuses, like they're a lot tankier. They don't have barrage, true, but when you're with momentum, if you can dodge barrage quite effectively, and then you can deal. I think they deal higher AP damage or have higher armor, either one. But yeah, barbarian archers can be scary. It's nice to see the meta change from normal Greek archers. They're using something different.
So and it's definitely been working for them as they've been undefeated this entire time.
Yep.
I see that Team 2 is starting to pick Germanicus. Pardonom with his Barb Cav. We've seen a lot of. We've seen, I think, only Barb Cav from Pardonom this entire tournament.
I think he played
but-
Foxes on Capitoline Hill for one game, but apart from that, it was.
Oh, you're right. I was actually.
Yeah.
I remember that. Indeed.
Yeah, and then he was actually going for the flank on that game with Foxes, started capping the base, forced them to get out of their point from Capitoline Hill, and then it kind of all fell apart once they pulled back, really.
Yeah.
But
I remember, I think he was trying to sneak around and go for
Mhm.
that cap. Unfortunately, where it was set up, I might have been giving a tiny bit of vision. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, though. If,
It is.
as the person who's casting, if I move, I'm giving the indication that someone is sneaking around the base anyway.
So once you're in the spot, you kind of have to hold still. Well, hopefully there'll be a caster's option sooner or later. I think it was Adhocracy who kept him from decapping constantly with his cav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have mirror picks here.
Very similar, so...
Very similar.
So Pardonom's a Barb Cav, they've chosen Germanicus. Quite effective as a core infantry in a team. Pikeman, that's a must. The only main difference is... Well, they've obviously got the Barb Archers, but the other ones haven't chosen. The Retriarius Gladiators, yeah.
Oh crap, my stream chat it still says group stage. Oh.
Interesting, CWAR's locking down some Germanicus. Roman infantry. Question is that mediums or heavies?
Guess we'll have to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I fixed my stream chat.
Actually, yeah.
Yay. Magic choosing
People are
those
saying
spears.
in my chat that sound quality on my side is better than on your side. Burn.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. I literally got that PC yesterday, and
I mean, if people have trouble hearing me on your side, it could just be how you have me set up. I'm just saying.
no, they're saying that they can hear you well on my side, but not necessarily on your side,
Oh, let me.
because you are too silent on your own stream. At least you were yesterday. Because I have you boosted high enough, so I can hear you very well.
And I should be on my good mic actually. At least I should be. Let me see if I can just move her around a bit and try to get closer to the mic.
You could just boost your microphone in the settings.
Unfortunately, I'm at max settings at the moment.
In OBS?
I am, yes.
But in OBS you can move like the slider to 100%, but you can also apply a boost over it in advanced settings.
me check that out.
So this is the option you're looking for. I myself am boosted to 285%.
Let me
So-
try 150 and seeing if that works out.
Retriarius Gladiators have just picked Multi Spears on Magic, and this is Tony TV has chosen Slingers with Miltiades. So now it's Lesbos Archers' turn to pick.
Okay, so where are we in terms of picks? You remember Osaka being the first pick. Then it would have to be Magic with Triple Spears Miltiades, Ardenum with his Triple Cavern Arminius. This need to be Slingers, counter to that, or the other two. Then Lesbos Archers picked Nuberto on Cav, Sivor on Germanicus Swords, and Tiberius on the Spikes. And then again, Retriarius Gladiators countered up with their own Lender Spikes and their own Germanicus with swords. And now it's time for Lesbos Archers to pick free.
And we see Spans, he hasn't locked in yet, but this is 2 swords and 1 cav.
It really depends how many range they're trying to go for, if they need that extra infantry, or if it's all just a misdirection.
Spanac yesterday played double cav 1 archer, so it's definitely not a very uncommon thing to go for.
And I've seen him on Miltiades Spears as well. I think he's more versatile and
Yeah, Spanac is very versatile.
could come with absolutely anything, which is probably the reason why he tends to be the last pick of his team.
Because he's got a lot more
He's the
units.
same, as a flex pick. But I have a lot of flexible players in that squad. Okay, maybe actually not.
Paul's from Creative Somebody saying hi everyone. I can see him in the Twitch chat. How are you doing, Paul?
Good stuff. I
Wow.
think Casinos. Oh no, Casinos is just the additional observer here. So we are still waiting for Lesbos Archers to pick 3 of their players. Looks like Alasa Warrior is setting up to play Miltiades Slingers, made with 1 spear for additional protection. And Casey is going to play his double javelins, 1 sword, another combo we've seen him play throughout the group stage.
Indeed, I was actually surprised to see how often we saw double jav or double light artillery with 1 sword. I would have thought that in a tournament we would have seen a bit more of that triple power range for the nuke power, relying on your allies to protect yourself. But actually, in a couple games, that really paid off. I remember at least 1 game in which the 2 light artillery and 1 sword really gave a lot of agency around the Rubicon map.
Well, it's about team composition really, because they didn't want 3 light artillery. They need 1 or 2 artillery pieces to do their job, which is to disrupt the enemy, have that range advantage to force them to come to you, or control a certain area, like they did, for example, on Capua, where they deployed that light artillery on that main street that leads to Watchtower, which means that if they want to contest Watchtower, they have to get under light artillery fire. So light artillery was mainly used as a utility tool rather than main damage tool. And then you can just bring more frontline with that, because you need those swords to find the frontline and provide the real damage.
It seems that 1 person is off the lobby, Lager, who was actually already locked in as Leonid Spikes, just left. He might have...
Something
is it-
crashed.
Yeah, it's possible he crashed.
Yeah, maybe this can do something. Probably will get a message about what's happening. You see, I have 1 private message. Let's move that.
Alright. See the chat. Yeah. Well, he was already locked in, so I think he can just come back in the lobby and just
Yeah.
pick the same pick, and we can move on with this.
Yeah,
we
as long
can
as you come
try it.
back.
We could start bringing the multi spears again.
Okay, we got a message from Magic that he will reconnect.
Okay.
So there's no problem
Okay.
there.
Sorry.
Yeah, you were speaking about the light arty. It was quite interesting. I watched a couple of matches yesterday where it was light arty versus light arty on Capitoline Hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was quite interesting, that one, because it was both long range versus long range, but the other one was on Rubicon, actually, where one had light arty and the other one didn't, and they were able to close the gap fast enough to stop the light arty from being used fully, from its full effectiveness. Again, that was the elephants coming from the right flank, and it just threw them off when they closed in.
Yeah, that was one of my battles as well.
Was it?
The one on Capitan Hill you were talking about was on Session chat as well. It went full 15 minutes, then it on a timer.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that was a funny contrast to see, really, because the battles I casted on Capitan Hill both ended in like 5-6 minutes or so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I have
So
to say,
they were all like rush battles with javelins and elephants.
in this case, both teams really each set up at the watchtower, and it was a range war, with Calf circling around and looking for openings. Pardonon actually doing a really good job on that. But ultimately, that range was just very well protected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on
yeah,
Capitan Hill,
it
on the
did.
tower, you can really well protect the range.
It was, in those range wars, it always comes down to vision, right? Whoever has the vision can actually deal the damage.
I remember
Partially
Leo's...
damage, but also it's a lot about personal skill and being able to outplay the enemy ranged.
I remember Leo Spears had moved up to try and give the vision, but got eaten by the pikes, and then I think he lost his second or third unit by that time, and some interesting cav plays, charges from the rear on the back of that, where I think the cav was not moving. Can't remember who it was though.
Also the ranged wars, like the ranged duels, let's say.
Mm.
If there's an equal amount of the same range, like, I don't know, like 3 slingers versus 3 slingers or something, and we assume that the skill level of those slinger players is somewhat equal, then the biggest factor that plays in is the pressure provided by the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And we are doing a giveaway, by the way. From the time that the picks start, you can let us know who you think is going to win. We will use RNG to look at the correct answers. Voting stops 30 seconds after the beginning of the game, and each run will pick a winner. Got a message about your sound being a bit low. Jojo, do you think you could maybe raise your mic a bit? And let me also, on my side, raise you.
Yep, I can try that. Bear with me.
I'll just put your user volume at 170 or so. Thanks, Prussian Prince.
See if that sounds any better. Did you turn me up then on that
I
end?
turned you up, yes.
Okay.
Want to hear from you, Jojo?
Testing. To see if this works.
Alright, chat, let us know.
If not, I
can
can turn it up. I can boost it, but yep. That's worrying. They want to hear my voice.
Right, and I'm actually getting the feedback that I am the most loud and should probably decrease myself, which is absolutely amazing. Like, we did it, guys. We did it. I finally have to turn myself down. Let's see, I had put myself at 150. I'm just gonna...
I need to turn off for a bit to resolve issues. There's still something going on.
Alright, good luck with that. I think Jojo and I can stay here and have a little bit more of a look at these picks. So we had a Disconnect who is coming back in with Leo Pikes. But other than that, we more or less are completely picked, except maybe for Spanitz, who hasn't locked in.
No, not yet.
could he possibly go with these elephants, you think? Oh, and he did. He actually locked in.
There we go.
If you always pick elephants, so yeah, he likes to throw the enemy team off with that pick. It's a very
Oh,
good
he
last pick.
actually he just locked in. So he sounds like he is going with that pick.
He is. Apparently someone's bugged. Liar's not joined back in yet, and he's their pikeman. Right, so let's analyze these picks here. We've got 5 slingers in total, 1 javelins, and they do have 1 pike. And on the Retriarius Gladiators, Lesbos Archers have got only 2 slingers, but they have the Barbarian Archers, with again 1 javelin, but they have the elephant. I guess it really depends on how well those pikes are able to get the elephants and how much they can actually disrupt. Oh, looks like we're ready to go.
Okay, let's back into it.
Sasha,
Hopefully what I did will resolve the issues that the other team has. I'm sorry for that, but the show must go on.
Sasha, I'll follow you to the hiding spot.
Alright, let
Okay.
me actually open that. I do check it out, and then I completely forget. Unfortunately, because we're using Discord, to have your sound come through, I can't be on push to talk, which means that I need to remember to mute myself when I want to type for the benefit of chat. Just need to keep that in mind.
Okay.
Do you remember the hiding spot, Jojo, for Rubicon?
I can
It's up
check.
in the forest.
Yeah, it's on top in the forest. There's a
Okay.
beautiful clip of me actually being very unsuccessful trying to move there. Talking about which, we are also doing a clip contest. If you're watching or catch the VOD on this stream, on any other stream casting the tournament, and make a clip. I will be looking for your clips proactively myself, but you can also PM me your clips. We'll actually maybe during a little bit of downtime be looking at clips today as well. Trying to find some good ones. Whoever brings the best clip will win 1,000 gold. I'm actually buying clips. I'm buying clips. Like instead of making
Block jump.
actually.
No, you're buying only 1 clip, the rest you're getting for free.
Okay. Let's call it multi-level marketing.
Okay, Lesbos Archers are setting up. I think they're going to do a similar pincer maneuver that Iber and Stingers were doing last time. So elephants on the right flank, alongside with cavalry, and then the infantry on the center and on the left.
People are trying to vote, but having some trouble as it seems like the word Lesbos and Lesbos Archers is triggering Twitch chats. Sorry about that. Let me fix the auto moderator.
Oh yeah, that as well. Yesterday I voted Lesbos Archers and I couldn't.
Okay, so it seems like
we
we have.
first blood going on with from Asa Warrior onto Magic Spears. That's a good chunk of like 20% damage.
Seems like we have a similar strat to what's been pulled off with Elephant God before, where the elephants are coming in from a side flank. We've got a.
It's true.
On the left flank,
Pulling
on
a
the
jacker
cliff
from
side,
us.
we already have an engagement between Asuka's archers and Shlom's Barkman slingers. Looks like I got the upper hand thanks to his superior vision and holding that watchtower.
And KC coming in with his javelins.
Indeed,
Put
they're
Mr. Arthur in difficulty.
coming in with
already
the.
crossed the river, setting up his elephants on the right side, waiting for his team to collapse to launch a coordinated attack.
And Lesbos Archers are pushing in from Gladiators' right flank with javelins and archers. That's a scary push. They better be ready for that.
Yeah, Lesbos Archers have a huge man advantage on that flank, so they should push that and wait on the other side. But I see Spanas is already coming in. And he sees javelins and he's not. They're wise to wait and push their advantage on the other side of the map.
Doing what any reasonable elephant player should do.
Hmm.
Either that or just charge them. In fact.
Retriarius Gladiators in a bit of a tough spot because they're being pressured on the right flank, whereas mid they're just holding. They really should take the advantage and push into mid and put some pressure on maybe the base while the right flank just holds decaps, because they do have the range advantage with the slingers versus the javelins. But we'll see what happens depending on what the captain calls.
Going on near the river. Wicked Pirate is looking to get involved in that. This is Tony TV, meanwhile, is getting some nice shots into Osaka.
Milan on the left flank, Parthenon going head to head against Nuber 2. He actually has one wild unit.
We've not got a cavalry duel going on, but that's far, far away. Nuberto is coming in with his third unit as well. And I see even Sivori going there with his Germanicus. That won't be very quickly there. But from what I can see, Lesbos Archers are now looking to collapse onto Retriarius Gladiators. They just caught up Magic, Big Pirate, and Osaka.
Oh, Sivar's in a bad position now. He's overextended with one of his units. Looks like he's going to lose it to the javelins. Elephant's trying to find a move to squeeze in, hit those javs.
Retriarius Gladiators now try to reform in the middle, trying to get their lines together. Sivori got caught in a pike fight.
Our base is under attack.
No, he lost a lot of HP, probably to javelins. Now Stony is being pressured a lot by Tiberius, which allows the Lesser Warrior to shoot into him and secure that range advantage. And you can see Lesbos Archers team slowly but surely completely surrounding Retriarius Gladiators, closing them in the middle.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, the slingers take a big hit from Stroike's javelins right here, being surrounded by slingers, archers, and javelins on all sides. Nowhere to run.
Yeah, they have multiple angles of attack. Liar got caught out without pike phalanx. Oh no, he did.
And Fast is coming for the kill, just going straight for the javelins.
Yep, trapping the javelins between javelins and elephants. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Yeah, those javelins cannot shoot once elephants are engaged with them, and there are Osaka's archers and Lesser Warrior slingers already shooting them.
Dolutin did manage to extract a bit, and Leher is going in there with his... Actually, no, he has to...
Are we going to get a cavalry charge in from Nuberto into the javelins? Yes, they do, and they take out.
Nice.
Very nice
those
charge
javelins
from
are down
Nuberto.
pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, they're sacrificing that unit that was caught by Liar's spikes, completely ignoring that, just going for that main target, which are now javelin. Now
Yep.
they're gone.
And it's already being called a GG. That push on the right flank was actually some really smart play by the
Yeah, that's a really
Lesbos
good
team.
coordination from Lesbos Archers.
Hmm.
Knowing what their targets are, just knowing what they can ignore, knowing what they have to get rid of, and executing that strategy almost perfectly.
Yep.
And that's just a matter of mopping up few remaining units. Another pike duel between Liar and Tiberius. Magic is already eager to go to a longer game.
And in fact, some of them have already left.
Yep. That's GG. That's one for Lesbos Archers. Using all sides, all flanks to maximize the potential. Well played to them.
Yeah, I just realized that I will need to prepare more overlays to account for whatever scores can happen.
It's probably quite alright. You can take your time to do that. In the meantime, Jojo, what do you think? What do you think Gladiators could have done here?
The moment they saw it, really, it was those javelins the issues. Osaka's archers on that side wasn't really the real threat. The real threat was the javelins. So the moment that they saw the javelins on that side and not in mid, they should have pushed hard in mid and put pressure to either call the Lesbos Archers team to push forward or be called back, and that way they could have set up some kind of flank. That's the only way they could have gotten out of that situation, because the longer they stood there, the longer they put their right flank at threat to losing, a third, half of a unit with one volley of javelins, and that's what they happened. They were already, I think, 50 to 100 balance of power down by the time Osaka and the javelins moved in towards the base, and they were starting to get pincered. So they had to react quicker to what they had seen at that particular time, and that would have been to push straight in mid and go for the base, because they could have then set up some kind of defense with the pikes, use the slingers. It could have worked out differently. That's what I think they should have done, really.
I see.
What about you?
Honestly, every time I watch Lesbos Archers playing, I have the same, horrifying realization as every time I see spams on the enemy team, which is that it's actually pretty disarming how well everything is always executed.
Mm-hmm.
Every move is very carefully thought out.
Yeah.
If anything, I felt like there was maybe one moment at which the javelins might have had a shot at taking on Spaniards maybe a little bit more aggressively.
Yep.
And that could have been played to their advantage. It's possibly the only time in which maybe Gladiators playing just a tiny bit more aggressively could have earned them something, but
That's true.
honestly, that's really the only thing that comes to mind.
That is, I mean, the javelins chasing down the elephants, something, because basically they were being pressured by that other flank, and they had to react, but they chose to hold their ground, which is, it's like a child poking a stick at you. You know, at one point you got to say, "Hey, stop," you know, and react. But they didn't. They just held their ground, which is, I don't know, maybe a bit of indecisiveness on the side of the captain's side, or maybe they weren't exactly. Maybe they had a plan to draw them in somehow, and that didn't work, but we didn't kind of see that reaction from that push as much as, you know, that we would have liked, really.
I see. Let me check. Apparently, Jojo, you're still not loud enough. Let me raise you up.
Not loud
just a
enough.
tiny bit more.
Okay.
Let me raise you. I think it's on the. It's something that I can do on the side.
All right. Thanks. I can boost it, but then it'll boost it for everyone. So. All right, we got a new lobby up.
We're gonna do our giveaway. I count 5 votes for the red team, and I'm gonna do the RNG. And it's 1. I think that's Adelmu Otranto. Adelmu Otranto, congratulations. And you win the 500 gold.
Congrats.
Congrats. Gold. Alright, and let me see if I can maybe lower myself just a tiny bit more, as it sounds like I am still too loud. I'm just gonna put myself back to 100%.
At this point in time, we're just waiting for everyone to join the lobby, and once they come in, we'll get the pick started.
Yeah, sorry, I was busy trying to resolve the issue of the other game.
And that's alright. Alright, so we have the new lobby key. Let's jump right in. It's actually the 3rd time that we see that those elephants brought on Rubicon.
Ooh. Sorry, KC, rolling 100 out of 100. Whoa.
That an automatic win for that team.
Yep. I think it's Lesbos Archers.
And here we are, actually. The lobby is almost already full. Lesbos Archers just missing 1 player. And it looks like they're switching their team composition around a bit. I see Guinea joining. Wasn't there their last game?
I think he was.
Oh, he was?
No. I'm not 100% sure. Ooh, 99 out of 100. A strong counter from the side of the Retriarius Gladiators.
Looks like the odds are in their favor. once more.
Yeah. So the way I picture this kind.
Jojo,
Yep. What, Miss True?
you need to come to my side, and so Cosinus can get to the other side.
Okay.
Because he has to be with Lesbos Archers. Oh, Jojo. What?
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 No, Sasha has to be on the right side, Jojo has to be on the left side, Cosinus has to be on the right side. There we go.
There we go.
Right, and the first pick goes to Team 1, Gladiators.
Yes, the Gladiators are picking first, but are they waiting for... Yeah, they're still waiting for one more player. Yeah, they're saying that Liar crashed again, so they're waiting for him to come back. There he is,
There it is.
so you can start the
Perfect.
picks. And I think he is a good even first pick, because he played the whole tournament, he always played Pikes. So if he plays Pikes, that's no surprise, they're not giving anything.
Exactly. They're not giving away their hand whatsoever. On the other hand, a player like this is Tony TV. Tony easily goes back and forth between javelins and slingers, and I believe he's even played light artillery. So he's a pretty versatile range player.
Question is applying that versatility to obviously a particular strategy. Either way, I think though, Gladiators, Retriarius Gladiators are going to have to play more aggressively or a little bit more reactive, which is probably what we'll see in this game here. We'll see a quicker response time, hopefully, and that will help turn the tide. But then again, you know, Lesbos Archers might completely change their strat and go completely defensive, but that's where the mind games begin. So Pardonum's locked in cavalry. Arminist Cav.
Let's see what Team 2 comes back with.
They've received a party invitation.
Alright, see ya.
You can continue analyzing, I still have to get up
Okay.
to
Osaka has stuck with his Arminius archers, and Huberto's locked in his cavalry as well. So far, similar units as last time.
Do you think there's a chance we're gonna see a complete rematch of that same formation?
Ooh, well, considering it worked for Lesbos Archers, maybe it might. The only thing, if we do, then the main thing that will change will be the execution on the side of Gladius. But I suppose a rematch is, it's very likely. They could tweak it though a little bit, refine their build. But if it works, you know, why change it? So it's anyone's guess. But yeah, I think they have a good chance if they stick with the same strat.
So if you were Team 1, how would you counter that composition, Jojo?
Honestly, in terms of the units, I think they had the right units. It was the execution where they failed. So they had the right idea with holding that right flank and kiting with the longer range slingers, but the mid didn't react quick enough. So they had the right units. They had the pikes, they had the slingers in mid, they had the javelins as well. They had everything they needed to fully counter the movement. In terms of units, I wouldn't change much. Maybe a little bit less slingers and more faster infantry is probably what I would go for faster response.
Less slingers, more javelins, I would say, because you need javelins to deal with pikes and elephants.
That's true. Yeah, javelins could definitely work. Yeah.
And they had only two, I think. Maybe, I think it was Dodisha with triple javelins.
Triple
Then how
javelins.
would you deal with that range gap when you're facing slingers on such a flat map? It's something that I always struggle with when I'm on Rubicon and I'm playing javelins.
I mean, ideally, you get one unit to chase down the slingers and keep them far away from the base, and then while the rest of them go for the cap, or you try and counter them directly with the slingers. But they only had 2 slingers versus... Oh, no, it was 3 versus 2. Lesbos only had 2 slinger units, whereas they had 3, so they could have easily just countered it in terms of direct confrontation.
Retriarius Gladiators had 4 slingers, but also remember that tier 7 javelin have raised shields. You can also hide them inside of the studio or find in the shade. So there are ways to escort your short range units closer to the enemy. Also, you can, as Jojo said, just apply pressure by your cavalry or elephants, and that will make slingers be busy, basically.
Yep.
And you can say that slingers can counter archers, they can counter javelin, they can counter some other things, but they cannot counter them all at the same time. So if you just present them with too many targets, they will have to pick, and then the other 2 targets will be fine. For example.
That's true. See, KC has gone for double jabs instead of triple. I think he was triple last time.
I believe this is the same composition that he was just using, unless I'm mistaken.
I'm not sure. I have to double check. I thought I saw Destroy KC go triple javelins last time, or did he go double with 1 infantry?
He did go double with 1.
He did go double. Okay. So far, same comp. You're right, Sasha.
We may be looking at a rematch. But there's still time for those wild cards. Schwanitz could be trying to lull us into a false sense of security with these elephants on display at the moment.
Maybe that depends what we see on the other side. But this time we have to remember that it's Retriarius Gladiators that have the last pick. So they can bring in those additional javelin siege planets to lock in those elephants again.
It's true, they're the ones with the trump card now.
We'll have to see how Lesbos Archers reacts to that then, and what their last pick will be, hoping they can counter whatever Retriarius Gladiators' last pick will be.
Jenny now hovering over elephants and actually locking them in. I think we haven't seen him play elephants yet. So far he played Germanicus, from what I can remember.
Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Tiberius, didn't he go triple pikes last time?
I think you're right, I think he did.
Yeah,
So this is the extra spear.
Yep, so it's changing things up a bit.
Yeah, in the battles I've casted yesterday, he was bringing either 3 pikes or double pikes, 1 spear, so that's nothing really uncommon for him.
Oh wait, is that a display bug? I'm seeing Ginny.
I'm not sure. Maybe he locked in something. He appeared to be packed.
Jenny's on, to me, he's on tier 1 Leo Archers.
Yeah, but he was locked in elephants, so maybe he locked in, and we saw him as elephants, just like everyone else, and he actually locked in something else than triple elephants.
Okay.
So maybe they are now fixing it. I don't know.
Lomi picking 1 spear, 2 slingers. So all I can see really for now is Lesbos Archers sticking with a similar composition, just slightly tweaking it, refining the build. No extreme changes, but it really depends what Retriarius Gladiators are willing to show this earlier on, while Lesbos Archers still have units or players to pick from. Because I mean, they could pick something that would completely change the strategy. So. Triple Javs. On this is Tony.
Oh, and your Archers.
Interesting.
Donation, if I remember correctly.
What is that?
I'm trying to remember. Donation was playing multi-spears in the previous game? Or javelins, I can't remember.
I thought it was some kind of infantry. Yeah, I think it was on Milty. I'm not sure either.
But what do you think the change?
Yeah, it depends who's going to be going on which side. Because Ambiorix Archers are good, but at the same time, they're good for very specific things, really. If it really depends what they're picking. Because the risk they kind of have now is if the other team goes like double cavalry. Because Jenny's locked in the elephants? Yeah, so he is elephants now.
Wouldn't it be advantageous for Spanish to go with Bobcav in this case?
Oh, definitely. I think so, definitely, yeah. Because if they can get the double cav, they can put a lot of pressure on the ranged units. Even if Ambiorix is crippling shot, that can't stop you from 6 cav.
And they don't have nearly as much infantry protecting that range.
Correct. So they can't afford to split that much into 2 separate groups. Maybe they're looking to try more of an aggressive play, a quite like a YOLO play, you know, where you just push in mid hard and then expect the team to come to you. Then I could see the strategy working, but if they're splitting up, then they're going to be in trouble if Lesbos Archers goes double cav. But we still don't know. They could. Spanitz is the wild card. So ooh, we've just seen Spanus lock in multi spears. Interesting. Along with Alisar Warrior.
This is interesting. I guess they're going after that range on foot then.
Yep, looks like they're changing things up a bit. They do have a lot of firepower though. Retriarius Gladiators has got to choose some additional ranged because they're up against, what is it, 2 javelins? 2 javelins and 6 archers. Whereas they have 3 javelins, 2 slingers and 3 archers. Yeah, I don't know, because the slingers don't do nearly as much damage to the barbarian archers as they would the Greeks. So, don't know how effective they were really going to be.
Guess we'll very soon find out if I dare.
Yep.
If I don't mind reading.
Yep. I think the way I see this one playing out with the amount of ranged units compared to the percentage of players that there are on the field. I mean, you're looking at 3 players pretty much on each team going ranged, so that's a huge percentage. That's like 40% of your units roughly. So if any of these cavalry, for me, the Pardonom or Nuberto, stay alive and manage to get in charges into some of those range units, that could decide between either a win or lose depending on how much he gets. So the cavalry will definitely play a big role in this game, and it'll be important to keep them alive and see how they do. Looks like we're ready to go, Miss Drew.
Waiting for just you.
Yep. Miss Drew?
And we are ready. Oh, he did luck in, so I think we're good. I'm just about
Okay.
to go in.
Let the games begin.
Yeah, there's some real shit going down, so...
Do share the gossip.
No, not really. I don't even know what the end was. I don't know. It should be fine.
Really curious to see how they're going to play this one out, considering the amount of range both teams have now. So here we're holding a slinger. Oh, looks like they're going for a similar strat, with Ambiorix taking the same the flank on the left with the slingers in the middle. We'll find out.
Okay. I'm back and ready.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I have no idea what the teams have though.
Cut them down.
Do we have elephants? Sasha, run away!
Oh,
I'm
we're
actually
dead.
firing you for first blood.
We have drawn first blood.
That's not good.
That's you're so serious. The professionalism is astounding.
Alright, so we got elephants pushing on Lesbos Archers' right flank. Similar strategy to what they did last time, but they're up against some infantry and some archers as well.
Yeah, I just wrote down that it was
10
worth 10
points.
points. Just
I hope you mean 10 points for Gryffindor.
Ooh, the javelins
like
are
Slytherin.
the javelins are separating, trying to scare the elephants off.
I always see some archer duel now going down between Pirate and Dodishan. A bit equal right now. But will get.
I don't like how these javelins are out of position here. They could get caught by the cavalry. That won't be good.
And I think Nubertu has seen that opportunity and is just racing for it.
He has indeed. He's going for it.
Barnum is going for a surprise charge out of the forest, but
Oh.
he is seen and should be blocked by Alasar. Yes. He's moving back into a forest.
Okay, so Lesbos are going for a similar push now. On that flank. They do like that flank. But at the same time...
He's pushing now with his elephants. He's already in the middle of enemy formation.
Oh, wow.
The TV is transferring his javelins over there to counter those elephants.
They're being cornered on all sides. Both flanks are being pushed hard by Lesbos. How is Gladiators going to react?
Nubertu keeping that pressure on. He looks like he's gonna get a good charge on these javelins.
Mr. Offline is throwing one unit after one unit to stop those elephants, to give Tony time to show up and actually kill them. But he's being stopped by Nuberto. And Nuberto now just got a perfect engagement with 3 archers. Even without a charge, he'll cut them down very quickly with his barbarian cavalry.
And Osaka just trying to run away from Pardonom's cab, but he's lost almost 2 full units trying to get to him. It was not a good trade.
We see 2 team captains duking it out, Magi getting a rear charge into Spanats, also being supported by Fluffy Bunny, which Spanats looks like he'll get away.
That Asa warrior is actually successfully routing my hair.
Is he-
Yeah, also Warrior is pushing together with Osaka and the rest of his team in the middle.
Yeah,
Huge
wow.
chaos battle right now.
Huge charge by Pardonom to get half of Casey's units.
Yep, definitely a good trade for that one. But Nuberto's coming in.
Getting some good damage onto Osaka's archers with his slingers as well.
See what I know?
Coming in from behind. Oh, Osaka failed the
Osaka
dodge.
did not see that.
He did see, but he dodged the wrong way, and now pardon, perfect charge. He gets another one. That was not a charge, just a melee attack. But Lesbos
Much
Archers
closer
are in
game.
trouble in the middle.
Much closer game this time.
It is
Yeah, it's still
indeed.
very, very even.
Still interesting how Lesbos Archers are dictating the battlefield, pushing gladiators to react rather than, to fight on their own terms.
Yeah, but very soon there will be a huge push right into the Retriarius Gladiators base.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are going to win this, I think. Not very soon, but
They definitely
Retriarius Gladiators need to react to that.
have the advantage in mid and are slowly whittling down the last of the units remaining. Ooh, Nuberto's got a charge on Shlomi's slingers. Nice charge. Pinning
That's
them
probably
down.
actually the end for the slingers. As they're getting routed.
Yeah, this is still TV, he's still quite healthy with his javelin, but he's not chasing elephants. He's now, I think, chasing into some archers. Should be weak pirates.
Oh yeah, he's running after Wicked Pirate.
Oh, looks like this is Tony TV and the
And
left
actually
flank.
trolling along Dodishan and Magic, as well as one troop from Mr. Online. Maybe not the best use of their troops at the moment.
Are they trying
Lesbos
to go
Archers
for a
are
counter
getting
cap?
very close to a cap,
We must stop
but Retriarius Gladiators are there, relying with spikes and Fluffy Bunny. When closing in, they can get a very nice sandwich if they execute it correctly, but looks like Osaka is onto Lyle's spikes, and he's getting wrecked.
Oh no, they've changed their mind. They decided to go back and help mid now. So Gladiators teams are pushing from left flank, trying to help the mid with the few troops they got left.
They couldn't properly cap with weak pirate presence there, and Nubert is still alive.
The danger for that is Tony is going to have trouble running away from that scene with Wicked Pirate in his tail, constantly shooting him in the back.
The Zeus Archers are slowly but surely getting the advantage.
Actually, he's going to get the help from Nuberto.
Looks like Fluffy Bunny in the center near the base committed to vengeance. He now has vengeance active.
Ooh, Nuberto just snuck past Mr. Offline, and he's now on to Stunny.
Oh no, the javelins have been abandoned. Will they
Ooh,
survive?
stopped by caltrops and kind of by his own charge. I think he charged only with one unit. Magic blocking Shpanats from charging the Dishon's archers. You see again, duel between two team captains. But the cap is going strong on the side of Lesbos Archers, and there's very little to decap on the side of the Retriarius Gladiators. They managed to clean up most of the units that were protecting the base.
Question is, can they get the decaps in time? The only units left back at their base is Fluffy Bunny, and he's got vengeance active on that one unit fighting an elephant.
An elephant, another 3 units. The only one who could really decap is Dodishan, but he's
Yep.
being blocked by Osaka and Uberto.
Yes,
Uberto
indeed.
is on the enemy range units again. Oh, he just got crippled shot, I think.
He did.
Yeah, it had to be crippled shot.
Caps at 40%. Now they have to react. They have to react. Odishan has to get the decaps on there. They don't, they're in trouble.
The magic is going to be stalled by Tiberius Spikes. He's not coming through. Maybe he's just backing it out, but at this point he has no javelin support, so it won't come to fruition. Cap is at solid 60% and going faster and faster as more units enter the base.
Yep. This is Tony's taking the wrong.
He's being stopped.
Tony's taking the wrong shots. He needs to focus on those decaps. If he doesn't, then the game will be lost.
Time is short.
He's
Make
getting
them
close,
bleed.
but he will not make it.
No,
The
it looks
Snowflake
like
can
this
get
is
there,
it.
in there. Maybe if he has Pilafro available, he can dig up 1 or 2 units.
That's all he needs, 1 or 2 units to decap. But will it be enough? He needs the range
Arthur is still
units.
positioning to stop him. Looks like he doesn't have a Pilafro,
That's
and
not-
that will be it.
Now that's
2-0 for
GG.
Lesbos Archers.
Defeat. The enemy holds our base.
Wow, well, you could definitely tell the difference in the captains commanding from that game, whereas where the first game they just kind of poked at him, this game they definitely went for full dominance on both flanks, and they dictated how the game was going to be played. Gladiators could only react to that. They couldn't play the game they wanted to. So well played for Spanas on that one.
Yeah, definitely. This
Closer
time
game.
we saw a huge push through the center with a small engagement on the flank, with those elephants again pushing in, drawing a lot of attention, especially javelin attention, which were needed as well to counter the various spikes.
Yeah, and the way they pincered them, they left very few units in mid Lesbos Archers, and then they not only sent the archers with the elephants on one flank, their right flank, but also on Lesbos Archers' left flank. they pushed with the remaining of their archers and spears round the cliff edge, and they just sandwiched them. Beautiful play. I really think for Retriarius Gladiators to turn this around, they're really going to have to play on the offensive and not let Lesbos Archers dictate the play, because that's exactly what they want. They want to play their game. They don't want them to allow them to play offensively, but reactively. And you're always at an advantage when you're on the offense like that. Also, I do think it was a mistake to hold both the archers on Retriarius Gladiators' side, to hold the archers on their left flank for that long. They should have pulled them back to mid.
That means actually no sound on my stream. I can see obvious streaming no sound. I'm not muted.
It's just some people in the chat on the official channel are reporting that they can't hear sound on your stream. Just
That's probably be
don't
earlier
shut
on.
don't shut the messenger.
No, that was probably earlier on when I had to mute for a while to resolve that other issue. So I muted my microphone so you don't hear me constantly typing.
Oh, that could. Do we not come through then when you do that?
No, I just muted my microphone and left the desktop
Alright,
sound.
so the Jojo and I should have been coming through then.
Unless I screwed up and muted my desktop audio instead of microphone. That might have it happen.
Working theory. Well, we'll check and once the delay is come by, check and let us know if they can still hear.
No, all games should have been casted with all sound, so that's not a problem. If there's a downtime in sound, it's only between battles.
Alright.
So the
Well,
new
as always, we're carrying out our giveaway. Actually, Team 2 is the clear favorite this game. I'm counting
I wonder why.
I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 5 votes. So I'm just gonna run RNG. And the result is 1 again. 1 is Baron Tititek. Congratulations. I'm going to write it in the chat and he'll find out from the sound of the stream in a few minutes.
You could use stream elements for that, really. Unless it's official channel or something, you cannot use stuff like that. I don't know. But if anything, I recommend stream elements to all arena streamers. It's really good.
No, I don't think we have any rules against using those kinds of tools. I'll look into it. Yeah, the stream. Sorry, I know this is the official channel, but the stream is very minimal this week, and it will be next week as well. As our video team has already shipped most of our equipment for Gamescom, so that's the reason I'm basically just here by myself on a normal station. Hence the small setting. Sorry about that.
Gamescom High. It's not about the setting, it's about what we stream, and the
There you
tournament
go,
so
there you
far
go.
has been amazing.
I'm glad to hear.
And casters have been amazing as well, apart from myself. Okay, let's see if we have a holiday key.
So we are moving on, basically. Oh no, wait, is this best of 3
It's
this round?
best of 5.
It's best of 5. Alright.
And we've got a holiday key.
So they do have another chance to redeem themselves.
Yes. It can still go 3-2 in favor of Retriarius Gladiators. But now, if they lose, they're out. Well, they're not out, they're still third place match.
The pressure is on.
Yep. And if we finish our match, I guess we could go cast the other one as well. Because they have 2 spots left. That match is being casted by Fox Goat and Kiwi.
And Kiwi. Of course, and let's maybe raid them later. If we finish early.
Well, I meant we would just go there and cast the battle with them. As just a separate pair of casters. because having 4 people casting one battle, well, it would be a little bit too much, I think. It would get too crowded.
Would be. We do have a little bit of a commander issue. It was on Team 2 position 8, and now it's on position 7. Someone was bugging up, and we saw 2 Sun Tzu Magics appear on Team 2.
I see 2 player names right now on the left side.
They successfully cloned Magic.
I see player name just one above me, and then on position number 4. When I click on it, it's Alasar Warrior and Story KC. Apparently. It should be fine. I see Prussian Prince streaming since edition 2. What? How the hell is that happening now?
Why is that surprising?
Because his team lost. He's no longer in tournament.
Oh yeah, I wonder what game exactly he's streaming.
Okay, I can see that. I just.
Oh, do share. What's going on?
I launched Foxy's stream to see how's the second match going on, and it's 0-0. And then I go down, look down, and I see above his face cam, he has Noobzu Invitational. It's Noobzu, if anything. Hello.
Did you only notice it now? It was on all day yesterday. It's quite
Yeah,
funny.
it's been on all day.
I haven't been seeing Foxy's stream yesterday. Because I was casting with him, and then I was checking your stream.
The one thing I would like to know is how are you not Noobstru yet?
That's a
No.
question of the day.
I'll be Noobs true. Maybe if I lose a bet or something. Well, anyway, we have some picks going on right now, or not?
Not yet.
Retriarius, but he's probably not going to be first pick. Yeah, let's do a request.
Schwanitz has always a very good team captain, but with mild anger issues at times.
Yep, let's see the lobby. Get a rehost so we can avoid seeing player names.
Alright, get out and come back in.
Sasha, you and Jojo will have to be on team 2 for this battle.
Understood?
What'd you say? Sorry?
You have to be on team 2.
I am on team 2. Has everyone left? Have we created a new lobby or something?
Yes.
Right, okay.
Oh, spannend. Now to think of
Yes,
it,
sir.
Noobzu Invitational 2 is official footage for 6 of the battles, because we lost your VOD.
Right, so Salernum now. This will be interesting. Because last time Lesbos Archers relied heavily on their abilities to flank and then sandwich the teams. Whereas this one, because it's a much longer map, any flank will have to either commit to pushing on or going back if the hill is lost. So we'll see whether or not they'll actually split up their troops into two separate groups, and whether or not those flanking troops in the cities will be able to counter each other quite well. It'll be definitely be a balance of the unit types and where you place them. That would be key for this battle on Solonum.
Okay, we are still waiting for Magic's team to join the lobby. Oh, Cousins is here. So... oh.
Hang on. Oh yeah, Kos is here. I see him. He's hiding.
Yeah, because I just saw that there's 8 players on left side and we need 9 to make it even. Oh, Cosinus is actually Polish. Or at least he's running a Polish version of the game.
That would seem to indicate that at least he has some command of Polish.
What do you mean?
Either that or he's trying to get your attention, mister.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, he just rolled in chats. So. Ooh, 94. Oh my God. I actually had a funny thing occurring to me, I think like 2 days ago. One guy who I know is Polish, and he knows I'm Polish. He actually messaged me in English.
Oh, Jojo and I talk in English all the time.
Yeah.
If that makes you feel better.
Hey.
Oh. I talk in English with Cole all the time as well.
I was wondering about Ko actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that can come off as odd to some people, but like basically at this point English is kind of a working language for me. So it's kind of the language in which everything is more or less set up in my head. And when I go to French, basically I'm in a language that's more like intimate or personal, or linked to my childhood, or linked to books that I like. And it's not always easy to find the exact word that I'm looking for.
It's true.
It's almost as if
For me.
I think a lot of us, especially in the gaming industry where we have that common language that is English, that kind of links all players together, have that experience actually.
It's funny how more you speak in one language, your vocabulary diminishes in the other.
Absolutely. I think it's this is the funny thing about vocabulary is it goes above just a list of words that you know. It's that emotional link to that word. Why did you decide to use this word rather than that word at that moment? It's because
Yep.
you associate images and emotions to this specific word, and that makes it the most relevant one that you can use at that moment. And that comes with just using that word constantly.
Yeah. Well, before we can begin the picks, we do have, I think, one extra on Retriarius Gladiators. They appear to be 8.
No, we have everyone. We just need one observer.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
So I'm pretty sure we're missing Genny, but he just joined.
I mean, Jenny is not playing in this battle because he's been replaced by Cousins apparently. I don't see other changes, so Schwanz is running pretty much the same composition, apart from swapping Jenny for Cosmos.
Oh, really? Because unless I'm, hallucinating here, I'm seeing Jenny in the lobby at the moment.
I see
You're
Cos.
seeing 9 players of Lesbos Archers. One of them is an observer. That we brought because Jojo is here as well. And Jenny is that observer. Cosmos was observer in Rubicon. But now Shpana's decided to swap Jenny for Cosmos.
I see. So basically, okay, I see. They're switching around the observer with. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Interesting
Shpana's is
develop.
letting everyone play from his team.
Interesting
And
development.
since he's already leading to 0, he can easily swap. Also, it's a different map, so it makes sense. For example, if Jenny is his elephant player and he doesn't want to run elephants on Salernum, then he swaps Jenny for someone else. We've seen that happening with all different teams today as well, where they would bring specific players for specific maps. So it's not like there's one main 8-player core and then only subs. Like, everyone is a part of the team just like everyone else. And provides additional flexibility.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the selling point for the captains is that really grants them that luxury of a choice, especially if they have players who are specialized in one unit.
Generally, when I talk to captains before the picks, they said their main strategy is to pick few flexible players and then pick those who specialize in certain units. So I see that they're still not starting. Maybe they're on some kind of a break. I see that being mentioned.
Shpana said, yeah, a couple of minutes.
Well, it's fine. We are 2 battles ahead of the other semi-final, so we can do that, and I have more time to sit in my overlay.
And it seems like, as anticipated, Lesbos Archers is the favorite. As right now we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 votes for Team 1, and 2 votes for Team 2.
Looks like they some people still
There's
believe
some
in Team
believers.
2. Yep. Still believe they can pull it off.
It's a completely new map. It's the first time we see Salernum in this tournament. We have basically a completely different set of maps for the knockout stage. Some maps will repeat themselves, but it's mostly new maps. And we will see even more maps if we can go to battle number 5.
Let's see if they can pull it off for 2 wins on Salernum. Definitely take a lot of willpower to beat them because they're 2 down already now. But they do have the advantage of a different map, so different tactics and strategies. They might have planned for this one better in terms of the
And it's also
commitment.
easier for them to reset their mentality, like, oh no, we're losing. Like, it's a new map, like, let's try a new strat, let's try to beat them. It's important to have that winning mentality, keep going.
It looks like Team 2 is starting to pick. Going the safe route with that Germanicus. interestingly, Spatz, although it's not his turn to pick and he has, as a result, not locked in, has actually selected Milty Spears.
Well, nothing's locked in, so he can just tease the enemy team. Although he played that last battle.
He did. Although on this map, I would expect him to play Barb Cav, wouldn't you?
Well, Barkar is definitely a good pick, but he could get someone else playing that, like for example Noberto, who has been his primary cavalry player.
That will give him.
Noberto is from NA, so he made a European account literally a week ago and grinded to tier 7 just to take part in this tournament. So
Yep.
huge
That's
props to
some
this guy.
serious, yeah, it's some serious dedication.
But that means that he can only play Barbarian Cap.
Yeah, that's true.
Noberto will play Barbarian Cap. The question is now if Spanac wants even more Barbarian Cap. If he does, he'll probably play it himself. If he wants only one player on Barbarian Cap, he'll play something else. Either Elephants, Multi Spears, or even something else entirely.
So Magic sticking with spears and offline going with infantry. I don't know if Roman infantry is the right choice for this map because it's a very long map, and if they need to react, they'll be too slow. It's a tough call, really.
I think it will go down for Battle for Tower, just most battles of Sarum go. And that Germanicus can push up with the Studo, get along with Pikes, get a Watchtower advantage, and just the raw fighting power he provides in those huge melee battles that can occur on this map will be very useful. And they have other fast units to react. Speaking of those, we see for the first time, at least a tier 6 cavalry being picked by partner, alongside 2 other tier 7s. But we mentioned that this tournament being tier 7 means that there are few valid tier 6 picks as well, like exactly Green Charges or tier 6 Javelins for Romans, if a Javelin player wants to go for a Hurl instead of Great
Yeah,
Shields.
they wanted that hurl, absolutely.
Yeah, so with that one Gungur charger might make the difference between just missing that charge or being able to break through and disrupt and catch those range units. We see a light RT picked by Wicked Pirate as well.
That's a pick he has been bringing during the group stage. He used it to great effect for control of watchtowers on Capua. So they may want to repeat that strategy here.
I really like how. Yep, go on.
Sorry, I was actually going to ask about that. How does he play that?
I mean, he sets up like in a long corridor, so for example a street or cliff formation. I've seen him using that on Capua and on Passage of Augustus. In Passage of Augustus he set up in his base and was shooting the enemies in their base because they're so close. On Capua he set up on that long main street which has watchtower on it, and well, they control that watchtower thanks to that.
So why the choice of double infantry with that? Is it for self-protection? Is it
I-
so he can give himself vision?
I really like that
Not
actually.
really.
It's because so they don't overcommit to like RT. If they were to go triple RT and then the other team would decide to push to rush, then they would lose that range advantage very quickly. So they're not overcommitting to the light RT, but still give them that range advantage and that hassle of having to deal with light RT. So I think it's a really good choice.
One RT is enough. If you're just looking for light RT to provide that zone of control, one is definitely enough. And don't forget that light artillery can provide a lot of damage. We've seen, I think, Dexterus it was yesterday, getting like 2.5k damage on light RT.
Which is even more significant considering that this is 8 versus 8, not 10 versus 10.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
I think he played double light RT and one sword. So yeah, and most of his damage came from that light RT, obviously. But but light artillery also cannot be used to build stakes because they're banned in this tournament.
I thought we would have reached peak with 10 votes for Team 1, but actually the ranks are growing, and I see Newbert actually also voting for his own team. Meanwhile, Osaka actually just voted for the enemy team.
Ooh.
The memes are strong.
It's I have half a mind to ask him in chat if he's planning on throwing this game.
If he really wants that goal, we will see.
So we've still got Lio then on triple Leo pikes. One thing that'll be really interesting is the pike placement on this map, because they'll be really effective in the city to kind of bar it off, but at the same time, if they're used on the watchtower point, that could make or break a push, basically. So the placement of the pikes will be interesting.
Is Tony going for triple artillery?
Maybe,
With
maybe not.
one sword, maybe. That would be more consistent to what I've seen him do so far.
Yeah, they want, as long as you bring one more than the enemy, you can force him to come to you more effectively. And from what I can see, teams picking, they are setting up a huge fight for that watchtower, but a long-range fight, rather than going for javelins. So far, I think we've seen javelins in every single battle, at least the one I've casted. And now it looks like there will be no javs in this one. Spanas hasn't picked yet.
Well, it was a
Last pick for his team.
It was a refreshing change actually to watch. Well, one of the ones that Faust got and Sasha was streaming on Capitoline Hill. That was purely based on long range with light arty and slingers with some archers. There were no javelins in that game, and it was the one that went to the timer 15 minutes. So
Absolutely.
it was all quite fun.
Long haul. It was
Yeah, a very close battle as well.
absolutely. It's really really enjoyable to watch, actually.
So we'll see how they'll be prepared. See if they can take this one slow, or if one of the
actually,
teams are going to overcommit.
Fluffy Benefits hasn't picked yet, so he may bring javelins. And looking at what the teams have brought so far, I don't think javelins would be a bad pick. But he's bringing
Arminius Cav. So they're going for the
Cav.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see if Lesbos Archers will counter that cavalry with their own cavalry or something else.
Well, Spanet still hasn't picked yet, so he could still go Cav. Question
Wouldn't that multi spears actually, as is, also make sense to counter all of this barb cav?
Mm-hmm.
It would, but then yeah, he'll definitely have to be on his A game.
I think they already have enough frontline. I mean, you can obviously have more, but with what they have now, it should be fine. Cavalry here, I think, makes more sense, because if you are in a one cavalry player versus two cavalry players scenario, and we see Shpana swapping that to that Arminius, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage.
It looks like we are going for that.
Yeah, and especially in a scenario when the enemy team has more light, definitely don't want to have cavalry disadvantage. You want that map control that cavalry brings.
Question is, will he dedicate to triple, or will he stick with one or two?
No, we'll see soon.
Yep. See, I'm a little bit worried about the amount of ranged, but this time on Lesbos Archer's side. Because although they have Germanicus and they have Leo, they're very slow moving. I mean, you can dedicate one Solar Infantry to guard the Light Arty and send the other one up. But we've got Alisar taken up with one Milty Spears for those two Slingers, and then slow moving units, so Leo and Germanicus. That won't be enough to stop the Barb Cav, especially when you have one of them that's Gunga Chargers as well. Yeah. They're going to have to pull some pretty strong defense moves against all that cavalry. Decisions, Spanouts.
It's actually Vercingetorix Cav.
Ooh.
Vercingetorix Cav brings some very nice tools to the table.
Yep.
You can just charge in, Iron Discipline into Defiance, and you will hold that whatever you charged. It can be a huge blob for 23 seconds, and they cannot move you. So we've seen in the past Calmingus cavalry charging in and being cut down instantly, huge blob of infantry. With Vercingetorix cavalry, that won't happen. I mean, it will obviously die, but not for 23 seconds.
And he's locked in.
Alright.
Scorch Earth is also a very nice tool you can use to push out enemy out of position. Or if there are pikes, for example, which there are on the player has, he can just walk up with his cavalry, throw Scorch Earth, and suddenly he doesn't have his 100% missile block anymore, and he also has to turn back in one way or move forward.
Yep. I do think Lesbos are at risk of losing a lot of those archers because they haven't. Well, they've got one Ambiorix archers. But
With
whether.
two Ambiorix Archers.
Is it two?
And Slingers. Yes, both
On-
got Slingers in a second.
Oh, I was talking about Lesbos. Or this team.
Oh, they are Lesbos. You are
Gladi-
talking about
Gladius.
the Retriarius Gladiators then.
Yeah. This team. Okay.
We've seen also surprising popularity of our minions archers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he brings momentum to the table, which is very good for dodging and moving around.
Just cut off there.
Cut to their base.
Alright, let the
Cut
games
them down.
begin.
Okay, we see Lesbos Archers team moving for that watchtower, also going for middle tallgrass field. So they're splitting up. Nothing sent to the city apart from cavalry to scout. A pretty standard move.
And I'm watching as they make their move towards the tower. We got the pikes moving on to take that tower. Got a lot of cavalry to watch out for.
Spana is charging that watchtower, but Parnum is first. And that's what Grungy charges bring. They win charges against tier 7. Spanats is getting wrecked there, though he managed to deal some nice damage in return in melee as well, and with Cousin's help, I think.
Yeah, the slingers definitely helped there.
Okay, so the
Number
light
capturing
RT's
the
set up.
watchtower.
Light RT's set up in the high ground. It's a good position to be, but they do have the watchtower. They have to take that watchtower.
Let's get a sting.
The pikes are there. Spanats is actually charging in. You get those spikes off guard? Almost. But his team is still in control of that watchtower. Now they have archers on top of it and their own pikes.
Gladiators team
But
has to
Retriarius
take
Gladiators-
control.
Retriarius Gladiators have advantage in light artillery, so they can use it to push anything away.
Alright, so the pikes are set up on the Lesbos Archers team. They now have control of the watchtower, which is going to be crucial in this game. They're having to...
He's pushing in for vision to provide that for light artillery, but he's paying a very hefty price for that.
That's what they have to do. I'm afraid they can't do anything. Spanish has done a really good job in holding back the pike players from taking that tower long enough for Magic to lose over half a unit.
You see, we finally see Alisar in his positioning, which we did not see before.
Yeah, so sneaking up with that forest, unseen by the enemy team, managing to throw some stones onto light artillery. Slingers are the best counter for that. This Stony has his top game on and manages to dodge most of the damage. So we see some engagements in the middle fields. Fluffy Benefit roaming around. He needs to provide some vision on team or get some charge. Maybe
Wow.
into a Last Warrior. This is possible.
That's a lot of range to be left without protection here. They throw...
Hardenough just got beautiful charge into back of Osaka and Plasinos.
Very
Damage
nice.
Going on to Lesbos Archers.
And his other units are coming as well.
Yeah, he's coming with another unit. I don't know if the enemy team is prepared to repel that attack. Cosin is dodging, but he'll still get caught with one unit. And he's on to Osaka. That's only one Tiberius unit and one Spanish unit to protect them.
Oh, Noberto is catching the slingers right now.
Oh yeah, and the bird answering the same on the other side.
Looks like we have a disconnect. Lazar has been having some issues. We had a couple crashes from him and a DC in the previous game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but they'll carry it out in terms of DC, from what I've heard. So there's no remake to be made. I mean, Fluffy Benefit needs to, if he was there with Pardon providing pressure on those arches, I think they would all be gone by now. It's not happening. Fluffy Benefit now trying to sneak through onto Lesser Warrior, maybe up the hill to pressure those arches finally. I think he's doing that. He can't get stopped by Nuberto.
Thing is the issue, Harry, and now Hispano's coming in trying to eliminate the light artillery, hopefully. While at the top tower, they do seem to have the range advantage. That would be Gladiators. However, they don't have enough vision to support it. I mean, the Fluffy...
Benefit coming in for archers, but being stopped by Nuberto, but Pardon wasn't stopped. Fluffy Benefit is now in the mix as well. So Osaka's archers are almost dead. Cosinus is not feeling so good as well.
Yep, almost dead, but at what cost as well? If they're going to lose the cavalry advantage, then they could be in trouble.
Still very equal. They still have their 2 artillery units that now that cavalry provided a lot of vision, so they had plenty of opportunity to shoot whatever targets there are there.
One thing we haven't seen is...
Archers. Nuberto charging in again.
One thing we haven't seen is Strike KC's Roman infantry and where they have gone off to. They fought down below, near the entrance of the city, and whether or not they're going to pull up and put some pressure on the light artillery.
Yeah, there's Gladiators are committing too many resources into protecting that light artillery, and Nuberto just can charge into slingers and archers unprotected and unpunished. So when I'm closing in, they have vision on those.
They do see the light artillery.
It's only a few volleys to
That
take
was
it down.
very punishing.
That's all it takes, and there you go. Here is Strike KC's infantry taking up more of the infantry of the light RT defense.
Condition doesn't allow Lesser Warrior to do that unpunished though. Barnum is coming for another charge.
Looks like he didn't have the opportunity.
Trying to catch him with guard. Lesser Warrior actually charging.
Ooh,
Barnum in the
Nuberto got Shlomi's last slinger units. Nice charge there.
Yeah, both cavalry players on both teams are doing their best to kill enemy range units, and they're doing a very good job so far. Spanas now coming in into the audition.
It's like they're going to be sandwiched from both sides.
It looks like he doesn't have a charge, but
Oh.
Roberto does. That's a beautiful charge against barricade as well. They're now pinned down. And finally infantry is coming in with Pirate and Story KC with their infantries. Tiberius Maximus with his pikes from the other side. And that's the last remaining units on the Retriarius Gladiators side.
Yep. Looks like they can close in for the final kills now.
You see Tommy TV trying to go around the spikes, maybe deal with them or catch Cosinus, but it's not going to happen.
And Retriarius Gladiators have called it. GG. They fought well. They fought hard, but it wasn't enough. Lesbos Archers go into the finals.
Well, yeah, unlike with the disconnect, but I don't know if that would really make that much of a. Yeah, they have a point, but we've agreed that if a player disconnects, especially so far into a battle, we are not going to do other than
And yeah, and fair play by Magic, who is not asking for a redo.
And he wished Lesbos Archers good luck in the final, which we do as well.
And
I
that's
could
it.
change my overlay into 3-0, as I didn't prepare that yet.
And that's
We're gonna give you
GG.
some time to go and prepare that. A really good game by Lesbos Archers again.
Yeah, and they're still undefeated, going for a flawless run throughout the tournament. We'll see who they face in the final, but before final ever happens, we still have another semi-final to finish. Then it's the third place match between Retriarius Gladiators and whoever loses the second semi-final. which can go either way. Actually, I think those teams in that second semifinals are much closer together, almost closer together, closer in terms of skill between each other.
Yep.
So it can even go all 5 games. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Let me actually see the other stream. How Baron is doing. I think they just finished the battle. He didn't update his overlay yet. I mean, they just finished, so it's like 2 minutes after. But the second semi-final is going on. Yeah, he's not changing the overlay. I think we could actually go there, though they have only 2 spots.
Then let's maybe do that and see what's going in.
Can do.
Hello, hello.
While force basically, or like more ranged heavy as well.
I think we all know that Jacob has the capability to bring strong elephants into the table. I wouldn't be surprised if he reverts back to that, to be honest, because it has proven to be an effective strategy. Jacob does know what he's doing in those cases, and it would be really nice for them to win something where they actually know that they can win, rather than going for these kind of slightly more niche strategies.
Yeah. And hi Sasha, hi Jojo.
Hey,
Hello.
hi everyone.
No, I've got noticed as well.
I'm actually going to leave you guys just for a second. I'm gonna go do my giveaway in a different channel, and I will be right
Okay.
back.
Okay.
Fair enough. It looks like we have one extra player for some reason, which is completely the opposite. It's quite ironic considering that we were down players earlier on. It's one of the reasons why we started so late.
Yeah, what's the score so far?
The score is 1-0 to Royal Peltasts, actually bringing out a surprise win there. Not, it was a little bit close, but I feel like that they were never really behind in the map. I think they played their strategy very well, kind of playing a little bit more passive, turtling up in a way, just as double Germanicus comps should, and the Sacred Band just couldn't really deal with it. Couldn't kind of crack that nut, so to speak.
Hello.
Oh wait, Sasha's in here. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, we finished our semi-final. Kind of unsurprisingly, Lesbos Archers won 3-0.
Oh really?
Well, they're undefeated so far. Spanos is doing some really, really good tactics. I
Well-
actually think it's like his tactics are just superior. Maybe not in the last battle. I think last battle came down more to skill of the players, but previously it was mostly positioning outplays. He managed to coordinate his team really, really well.
In that case, do you want to use my camera, or are you gonna just keep your own camera?
No, we are just joining you to talk about the lobby, and then I'm gonna cast with Sasha in a different casting room. So
Cool.
we'll have 2 pairs of casters, but we won't have 4 casters in one room because that would be awkward.
Awesome, like yesterday.
Yeah.
So surprise, surprise, we have Bastard picking his Germanicus. I don't think anyone is completely surprised by that. And what are we expecting? Probably a slinger pick plus 2 multi ADs to begin with.
Yeah. That was what they have done like the last 3 matches. So actually 4 matches, so why change that and give away what you're gonna do?
So do we expect Royal Peltas to make any changes here? Because what they picked clearly was working.
So maybe they're gonna like go for the same setup and let their flex players maybe adjust to whatever Jacob is doing. But
Yeah.
I would go like, if it works, then it works, and so why change a running system, right?
Yeah, fair enough. But say, for instance, if Jacob were to bring elephants to the table, how do you think Team One are going to have to deal with that? Because right now,